I start this day by just saying what an incredible year this has been. It's been like so many years. Extraordinary. There have been highs. Let me ask everybody, how incredible was that solar eclipse? Did people enjoy that? Do you know what I found so amazing about it? Is that it brought us together, did it not? With a sense of excitement, with a sense of joy, with a sense of wonder. I love that word, wonder. We came together and we were all united just in awe of God's creation. Were we not? I think that may be the high point of the year. It's an extraordinary year because we've faced natural disasters, have we not? The terrible and devastating effects of Hurricane Harvey. And right now we're facing an equal disaster potentially in Florida for Irma and all of the Southeast. Can we take just a moment of silent prayer and meditation, thinking of those that have already suffered and praying for the protection of those that have yet to be hit by these storms as they recover and come together? Thank you. But you know what happens when we get a challenge like a terrible hurricane, like Harvey and Irma? I would argue that it brings out the very best in us as a people. The courage of the victims, the courage of the volunteers. You see people coming together, united in a purpose to be able to protect and to empower. People, this is a year extraordinary like so many others, and it also has its lows. It has its lows like the terrible violence that we saw in Charlottesville, Virginia, where some people took advantage of the freedom of speech and the freedom of assembly to espouse bigotry and hate and racism. And in that low point for the year, when those people met resistance by counter-protesters, one man drove his car into those protesters and killed a woman. We gather here today at a leadership convention. And quite frankly, I want to share my heart on what I believe humanity needs. People, I'm tired of hate. I'm tired of the hate. I'm tired of the accusations, the recriminations, the blame that I see leaders in this country and across the world just pointing fingers at each other from the right to the left. Just blame, accusation, recrimination. I see it everywhere. I'm tired of the fighting. I'm tired of the violence. Quite frankly, I'm tired of waiting on leaders, real leaders that just don't show up. They just fail to appear. Now, yes, you could say, I'm being harsh, I'm being critical, but my friends, where else except at a leadership convention can we ask the tough questions of what real leadership ought to be? I'm talking about the leadership that's going to make the world a better place. The kind of leadership that makes the world a better place, our nations, each and every one, a better place, our communities a better place, our business a better place, and for each of us as leaders to become everything that we're meant to be. I can tell you that I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I have to ask myself, why? Why am I so bothered when I see this vacuum, this absence of leadership? And in a moment, quite frankly, of prayer and reflection, I ask myself, what would Joshua do? I ask myself, what would Muhammad do? I ask myself, what would Jesus do? I asked myself, what would Vishnu do? I asked myself, what would the Buddha do? I asked myself even more recently, where are the leaders like Mahatma Gandhi? What would he do in the face of these circumstances? And yes, my friends, I ask, what would the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. do today? When I think about these leaders, when I think about what they would do and how would they counsel us, I believe that they would say that we need to start. We need to start with an absolute embracing that we must respect the dignity of every human being. That's how we're going to make the world a better place. I believe that they would tell us that we must stand for justice, that we must stand for equality, that we must fight for freedom and opportunity, the kind that every human being deserves. I ask a question, quite frankly, that I'm disappointed nobody seems to ask and want to discuss. It's a question of why. Why do we allow neo-Nazis or white supremacists to hold a march and an assembly? Why did we allow that in Charlottesville? And I will tell you what the answer is, and it may surprise you. The answer is that we allow that because we all must be willing to fight and even die to protect the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, and the freedom of assembly for everyone. For everyone. Even when the speech is hateful, even when there are fanatics in religion, even when assembly can turn violent. Now you may ask me, I'm shocked, I'm surprised, why would you say that? Why would you say that? And I'll tell you the answer why. Why would I say that we should protect the right for people to say hateful and mean things? Why would I want to protect the right of religions that could produce a Timothy McVeigh or a Jahar Shinaev? How can we do that? How can we protect the right of assembly if we think that it's going to become violent? The answer is simple. Because the only way that we protect freedoms for ourselves is that we must protect it for everyone. The only way that I have the right before you today and for all of us to assemble and to say that we reject hate, that we reject racism, that we reject genocide, that we reject authoritarianism, that we reject bigotry, that we reject sexism, that we reject prejudice, that we reject violence, is to protect the right for all of us. Thank you. But my friends, we can't just talk about what we reject. I believe when we think about the leaders that inspire us, we must champion the things that hold dear to all humankind. We must champion love. We must champion equality and freedom. We must work every single day to ensure that we protect and we empower. Brothers and sisters, I tell you that as we begin this leadership convention together, I ask for you all to reflect. I ask for you to discuss, but most importantly, I hope for you to become the leader that God wants each and every one of us to be.